today, so but let's practice the turnaround strike with back fist and hidden hand punch a couple of times.
Okay.
All right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, let's see, so it starts from fan through back. That's where it comes from. And so you're going to turn to the right, turn the left toes all the way in. Turn a little bit back to the left, right fist under left elbow. Sink down, step in. And as you step back, that's when the block happens. Excellent, Mr. Watkins. Shift forward, that's when the back fist happens. Turn the waist, turn the toes in as the chop happens. Everybody feel okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for hidden hand punch, you're going to reset the left foot. And then you're going to shift to the left, lower the hands, sink down, and you're going to then step to your T. And then it's going to just basically be hidden hand punch like the beginning in the first section. Yep, let's do that one more time. So fan through back. And turn around, strike with back fist. So turn to the right, left toes in. Turn to the left, right hand on the left elbow, sink down, step in. As you step back is when you block. Shift forward, back fist. Turn the hips and the toes to strike. Good. Now reset the back foot so that your foot is at a wider angle. Shift to the left, lower the hands, and then sink down, step in, and step out to that T where you will hidden hand punch. Excellent. Release. Any questions about that? No? Good. Everybody here looked like they were doing it, but for people watching at home, just in the first section we make this step to the T, shift, turn, and look, and it goes way up here. We do that to get the idea of turning the waist and coming down for the technique, right? If we don't really emphasize that, it's very hard to train that in after the fact. However, now with intermediate advanced moves, that turn is a little more organic. I'm not like, I call this the Japanese monster move. It's not, it's just I turn and I punch. So that's one adjustment that happens, or change, or advancement, internalizing, that happens at intermediate level understanding of this move.
And there is less of a deflect downward?
It's still there.
It's still there, but it's not as pronounced.
Correct. It's internalized. So I've got that power and that torque from my waist absolutely happening, because this is one of the applications on your test. But it's, you know, it's here. So you see my body is there, but I'm not emphasizing that with my hands. But the waist is definitely, you see, it's here. So there is a down here. So I would say the body, the center of the body is the same. Excellent question, but you don't see it as big out in the hands. Okay, so I am here to tell you this next grasp the bird's tail is actually very, very, where did it go?
Easy? Come on.
It's easy. It's not going to seem easy because it's so easy. So
It's like the helicopter, right?
it's easier than the helicopter.
Oh, good.
Helicopter, we trick you by saying it's easy. It's actually challenging. But this move, people overthink it, yours truly included when I learned it. I'm like, this can't be it, it's it. Okay, so it's easy. Just channel head instructor gauge. It's easy.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to do it facing the camera so you can see what I mean. So you've heard me say grasp the bird's tail is any combination of ward off, pull back, press, and push. So it's not always the same, but it's, you know, that's that segment of moves. This is one of those times that it's a little bit different, and you have to think of your ward off left a little bit differently. So here I am, I've done my hidden hand punch. So I am going to do a ward off right, but I have to get to ward off right. And so there's a ward off left, but I don't step forward for it, I rock back. That is my ward off left. It'll be on the other side. So I'm just showing for the camera. So ward off left to ward off right, and then it's pull back, press, and push, just like the beginning. That rock back, open the arms, trips people up something crazy. So, but all you gotta do is rock back and open the arms. So let's try it together a couple times. Maybe get behind me so you can follow along. So let's end from the end of the turnaround strike with back fist. So we're in our double grounded foot placement. Right fist is chambered, we've got our left foot, our left hand to chop. So we're gonna follow through, set the heel at a wider angle, lower the hands, step to a T, hidden hand punch. Make sure I'm on camera. Yes, I'm on camera. Okay. From here, I'm going to rock back, pivot on the left heel, and I'm going to open the hands. So I'm now on this back leg and my arms are here. This is your ward off left. This is it. Now, shift into it, step forward to ward off right. Everyone see how that works? And then do your pull back, press, and push. Let's do that again.
It's gonna mess me up, I know.
Hidden hand punch, reset the heel, lower the hands, step to a T, hidden hand punch. Now, rock back, open the hands. Ward off left. You feel it? You feel the rounded, like, don't come in my space, even though I've retreated a little bit. Now, sink down, step in, step out. And that's your ward off right. Pull back, press, and push.
One question,
Yes, sir?
going from the ward off right to the pull back and press,
Uh-huh.
are we still doing that little bit of a
Oh,
turn
good
here?
question. It's a little bit of a turn. This is getting to that point where with more experience, it's gonna look, you don't have to turn maybe as much.
But you still have a little shift.
Absolutely, there's always a little bit of go right to go left to go left to go right, always just a little bit. And the reason for that is, see, like here, I'm stuck, like, right, so I have to do a little redirection so that I can then step. And it's the same thing here. This, I don't have room quite to shift here, but if I turn, I have a little more room to shift. So that's why it's a little unsticking,
Okay,
so to speak, without taking up my feet.
gotcha.
And try it sometime, you know, like if you're like, well, why do I have to turn? Does it need to? I can't move. You know, it's amazing how you find it's there for a reason, not just because Grandmaster Gohring told me and then I told you.
Reasons are good.
Huh? So, yeah.
Reasons are good.
Yeah. However, you will find the more you train, you don't have to turn as much. So what I see a lot with blue, purple, red even is we get to here and then there's this kind of a big, huge turn. Well, notice I lose my tuck there, weird things happen. So I want to keep my alignment. So I've got my tuck, shoulders, that's enough. If I do any more than that, it breaks my Tai Chi form. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, thank you.
So, one of the things that we talk about in advanced Tai Chi is what it felt like as a beginner will mislead you as an intermediate and advanced student because at the beginning, it's like you had to really turn and feel almost maybe off balance for it to look correct. But now if you go to that extreme, it's not correct, it's an overturn. So you have to kind of not rely on how it feels as much. Well, it's yes, how it feels, but not how it used to feel. Not like, I must wrench myself, you know. Like Embrace Tiger's Return to Mountain is another one. When you're first learning it, you feel like you have to step so far back. And then once you get comfortable with it, if you go for that sensation, I have to step so far back. That's not right either, right? So, good questions. Any other questions? All right, let me see it a couple times, and I'll help lead you through it. So start at the end of turn right strike with back fist. So right foot forward with your chop. Good, and hidden hand punch. Yep. Reset, that's exactly right. And now grasp the bird's tail. So rock back, open the arms. And hold here. So remember, it's ward off. So this is going to be don't let me come get you. Don't let me come get you. Okay, and now ward off right. So you're going to sink down, step in, and then you're going to step just like you would in the first section of the form. So double dragons to me. Yep. And then pull back, press, and push. And I bet you can guess what comes next.
Single.
Do it. Single diagonal, so this one will be all the way to the,
There I was thinking,
I know, so there's only one diagonal in each section. It's the first one, and then all the other ones are back to square.
I got a quick question.
Yes, sir.
I think my feet are too close to,
Listen.
mine. Should I be wider?
Try squaring your hips first, and then turn your toes in a little bit. Maybe, but I mean, it actually kind of looks okay. You could maybe go, I think what you were feeling was your hips were, your toe was here and your hips were here, and that
Okay.
felt tight ropey. But the proof will be, once you get your hips in the right alignment, I know I'm off camera, just listen. If my hips are in the right alignment and I get my toes turned in correctly, you'll feel it if you're not,
Okay.
if you're not.
And it
upright.
does feel better, thank you.
Yeah, good. Okay. If you didn't see that, or maybe you did see that, what he was asking is if his feet were too narrow. And it's very difficult to tell if your feet are too narrow if your hips are not oriented correctly. So if you're in single whip here, I'm naturally gonna feel a little tight ropey, so I don't know if my feet are correct. So I have to turn these toes in and I have to orient my hips. Now, yeah, I'm narrow, because I feel it pinching in my back. I look down, sure enough, here's what it should be. So, it's a three-dimensional puzzle. Check your hips, move it there forward. Make sure your toe, your back toe is not all the way back out here, that is 45-degree angle. And then you can tell if you're at shoulder width or not. All right?
Thank you.
Sound good? Any other questions? All righty, let's bow out. Good work, gentlemen.
Head instructor?
Bow to intermediate level students, students at home. Master's back training is dismissed. Good job, everybody.